are you trying to decide where to send your kid next year for school? Can I offer you some advice as a data and research expert who focuses on K-12 education policy? As you begin your journey on what are the best schools, let me say confidently, you're wrong. Or rather, you have no idea what you're talking about, but don't feel bad because neither does anyone else. I was at the Georgia Department of Education when we were trying to decide how to measure schools in a way that does right by all schools and something that everyone agrees on. And let me tell you, that measure does not exist. Because the most uniform tools we have to assess really just show the difference in incomes of the student body. That's standardized tests. And then if you change to measures of opportunity, like how many AP classes they have or extracurriculars, now you're really just measuring how well has the state taken care of a school, not how well the professionals in the building are doing at educating your children. But that's okay. A lot of us don't go by objective measures. You might be going by your gut. One problem with that is that our intuitions are biased. Is that school really sketchy, or are you just struggling with racism? Is that other school elite, or are they just discriminating against poor kids? Are those teachers really too woke, or are they just trying their hardest to make sure every child feels accepted? Beware of those data points, even if they come from outside sources, like a conversation you had at the playground. Just because another person said something about the local public school does not mean they've ever actually even been there. The problem is we might just be confirming our own biases and falling prey to clever marketing the same way that we convinced ourselves that hard cider was good. What do you do in the absence of good, strong data and some healthy disbelief in your own intuition? I am a firm believer that you should bloom where you're planted. Send your kid to the local public school, and if you find something that's legitimately concerning, try to fix it so that all kids benefit, not just your child. I get it. It is super vulnerable to put your child into an unknown situation, especially if you have the finances to afford a better one. The problem is we don't have a good idea of what a better school is because of how much that term relies on racism and classism. So you might think you're paying for a better education, but really you're spending $30,000 a year and your kid would have done the exact same at the traditional public school. So absent any of those rock solid assurances, I would ask that your default be to put yourself in a situation where you can be a good neighbor.